Right, G&G L85, this is part 3. Let's get it back together, hopefully get some test shooting done with it and see where we're at. So that's a new tight bore barrel assembled with the hop-up. The hop-up body is still a G&G part, but it's a metal one that was donated from another project. So still fairly stock, but just putting it right. Now the wiring, as I received this, had the factory braking system disabled and was running off a MOSFET. So initially that's how we're going to put it back. Let's see how that goes.
Nope. Nope.
And so surfaces the G&G semi-auto fire issue. Now this isn't a new problem. These guns are 10 plus years old, and if you Google it, you'll see people complaining of the same problems through that time. Nobody seems to have actually got to the bottom of what causes the problems. What they normally do is they buy the gun, they throw money and parts at it and get it to a point where they're kind of happy with it. It's a sort of sticking plaster approach. So what I'm going to do with this one is I'm going to rewire it as it would have been wired when it left the factory, and that's just to get us back to a sort of known base point to work from. We'll then chrono it and see what's what. So that's more like it. It's shooting between 362 and 366 feet per second. The swing's only 1.5%, and that's quite good considering the spring's already had a cut on it. Since that's been cut already, there's no harm cutting it a little bit more. The aim is to get the feet per second under 350 so that it's site legal at the owner's local sites. It's UK legal because being capable of full auto, it has to be under 370 FPS on 0.2s. As you would have seen from the Gearbox clip, the sector gear is now stopping at pretty much the exact same point every time, so hopefully that'll help us nail down some of the semi-auto lockup issues, although I do think there's more to it. I'll explain more about that at the end. But for now, it's quite late at night, so I'm going to leave it till tomorrow. Hopefully get this out for a little bit of shooting, weather permitting, and see how it's behaving. Well, weather wasn't permitting. It's been about 2 or 3 days since I recorded that last clip, and it's done nothing but piss with rain. So it's the first day I've had a chance to get out. It's a bit cloudy, there's a slight breeze, but at least it's dry. Right, so I've just got the L85 here. I've crudely taped my run cam to the front of the gun.
My name is Jeff.
I'm using a cheap EOTech sight. It should be good enough for the job, although not really at range. Well, I'm not going for a big range test anyway on this. As long as I can hit a sort of reasonably sized target at range, that'll be good. So I've set a tin can up over on that rock there. That's it, 50 feet I've measured that out. Let's see if we can hit it. Maybe take me a couple of shots just to get my sight and know where the BB's going, but let's have a go. That's not too bad. That was a hit. There you go, 50 feet spot on. That's 0.25 gram BBs. So I'm quite happy with that. Let's see if we can get another couple on it. It's down in the ground there. That's more down to me, and there is a bit of a breeze. It's not windy, but there is a breeze, and it's enough to lift these BBs off. They are only 0.25 gram. But that's good. Consistently hitting a can-sized target at 50 feet. That barrel over there is easily double the distance. It's easily double the distance from there to that can that we've just been firing. So it's around about 100 feet. And a barrel's a man-sized target, so let's see how it goes. You see the wind's catching them and they're curving off to the right there, so I'll just aim off a little. That's pretty consistent. Now this barrel here is double again, so it must be, yeah, it can't be far off 200 feet. Keep in mind this gun is totally stock. It's not had much in the way of upgrades. It's low powered. It's only shooting at 350 feet per second because I did get the spring cut down a little bit more since the last piece I recorded. Now I'm expecting the wind to catch these, but let's see. Yep, that's hitting. I don't know if you can hear that. There is a bit of travel time. Again. Let's try a wee full auto burst. I don't know if you can hear them, I hope you can, they're hitting. And that's us out. So, that's hitting a man-sized target at nearly 200 feet. It's hitting a Coca-Cola can-sized target at 50 feet consistently. And definitely hitting a man-sized target at 100 feet. So for a first dry run, that is absolutely spot on. Right, 50 feet, 3 cans. My terrible shooting coupled with the wind, I don't know what's going to happen here, but let's go for the left. There we go, middle, and right. 3 for 3. Let's get some full auto for a laugh. Dry. I'd say that's working, successful. Back to the workshop. Now I've got to tidy up all this shit. So I'm quite happy with that. Obviously nothing outstanding, the gun is still largely stock. but it's shooting consistently at sight safe levels, just the way any AEG should be shooting. So back at the start of this series, when I received the gun, it was basically unusable. So what did we do? We changed the bushes, we reshimmed the gearbox, we sorted the butchered spring, properly cutting the end of it and reshaping that with a bit of heat treatment. We fixed the compression issue. Somebody in the past, trying to improve that, had fitted 2 O-rings too tightly onto the piston, and it was actually doing the opposite and giving next to no compression. What else? Oh aye, we done a little bit of paint work on it. That was just to tidy it up a little bit. The goal was never to make this look like a new gun, it was just to make it look a little bit less fucked. We also rewired it to stock, and it's been working pretty much flawlessly with the factory braking system back in place. It wasn't happy on the MOSFET, and I found that the reason for that is the gearbox is very sensitive to overrun. Obviously the MOSFET is letting the battery pump the motor that little bit harder, and it was causing those double feeds and just generally messing it up. Now, I've mentioned a couple of times throughout this series, these guns are known for issues, especially with semi-auto. With this one, I think it was firing intermittently on semi-auto, and bizarrely when you put the gearbox into the case, semi-auto disappeared completely. It was also locking up, it was going dead, all the usual stuff, and the same problems I witnessed on a new L85 by G&G just recently. But I do think I've got to the root cause of the problem, or should I say problems, because there's a couple of different things going on, mostly related to quality control, which explains why some guns have problems and some are fine. I'm not one for throwing money or parts at a problem just blindly hoping to fix it. I like to get to the root source, and I think I've done that here. You know, these guns aren't cheap by any stretch of the imagination. They're £320, £330 retail in the UK, so you shouldn't have to be throwing more money at that just to make it work as designed. I'll maybe do another video, a separate video, just on the problems and how to fix them, if I can get another couple of donor guns locally that are suffering from the same issues, and if that'll be of interest to anyone, you can let me know in the comments below. Anyway, I'll maybe get out a game with this gun, maybe record another gameplay. That was never something I intended to do, but the last one went down quite well, so I'll maybe give that a go. But for now, I'll leave it there. That's this gun done. The series is finished, and I've actually finished something that I've started, which reminds me, I'll get that finished. Anyway, if this has been useful, maybe hit that like button, or maybe think about subscribing to the channel, and I'll catch you in the next one.